I'd like to narrate to you today a short story. It's a true story. It's something that happened to me and which has left a deep impression in my heart and in my life. As many books have spoken about and confirmed, when I was really young, I spent in India 7 years and more. I was only 18 when I got there, and soon after I joined the traveling yogis and sadhus and so forth. Now, I very much just love just moving on, just going from here to there, maybe hearing about a famous yogi or a great place to visit. So I'll walk it or I'll go by hitchhiking, And in that time, I had left most things behind, from the West. So I hardly had any money with me. So anyhow, I arrived in this city called Ujjain, where there was a very known yogi called Haripuri who was at the head of an ashram. So I went into the ashram, really looking forward to look for him because I heard so many nice stories about him. And instead, I see on the main seat where the head of the ashram sits, there was another person. Definitely didn't look like the description that they had given me of this other one, Haripuri. So I went to him and I said, "Oh, I'm looking for Haripuri. I would like to meet him and maybe stay for a few days in this ashram." And he said to me, "No, Haripuri has gone and there is no place in this ashram." What he meant was, of course, there was plenty of place, but there was no place for me. Actually, what had happened was like a coup inside the ashram, and this person who had taken over as the head, he was very inimical to Haripuri, and Haripuri had left. Anyway, it's a long story. Then I met him later on somewhere else, Haripuri, and it was very interesting what developed. But anyhow, so I go out. This city is called Ujjain, and it had a beautiful river going through it. So I went into the shores of the river, just looked for a place where to sit down. And there was a kind of an arcade that had been built on a particular spot in the river where beggars and actually lepers were living, and I mean that. So at the time, I was 18, full of life, full of this mystical enthusiasm. So I sat in the arcade, in my corner, but, I was with these people. No one bothered me. I mean, this place belonged to everybody. And for 2 days, I just sat, a lot of the time just meditating. I think it was by the second or third day, there was a beggar, very nice looking man, we're talking maybe in his 60s, but with a beautiful beard, nice eyes, nice countenance, and he looked at me. He wasn't very far from me, and he said, "Babaji, that's a sign of respect to yogis. I have been looking at you for the last few days, and I've noticed that you have not eaten." And I said, "Well, yeah, that is true. I haven't. But that's okay." And so he opened a little cloth he had, and inside the cloth there was some chapatis, Indian bread, and in a little pot there were some vegetables. And he said to me, "Please accept this from me." And I thought, "You're a beggar. You've got nothing, just like me. Why would you give me all you have?" But he said, "You would really make me happy if you did." So I said, "Okay," and actually I was hungry, so I enjoyed it. When I finished eating, he said something, it was one of the most beautiful things I heard in my life. He said, "Baba, as long as I am here next to you, you will never go hungry again because there is enough for the two of us." And I tell you, that was touching. And that is wealth. That's being rich. That's truly giving, you know. As we read in the Gospels and even in the books of the Buddha, there is the similar story of someone very rich giving and being ostentatious about it, you know, showing people and so forth, and a very silent poor woman, you know, giving just a little coin. And let's say when Jesus asked to his disciple who gave more, and they all said, well, the rich man. And Christ said, no. Jesus said, she gave everything she had from the bottom of her heart. So I hope this story has warmed you a little bit, warmed your heart a little bit. Certainly it has warmed mine. And when later on I got some money from somebody, you know, in the city of Ujjain, I went looking for the man because all I wanted was really to give him something. Unfortunately, he had left already. What a shame. But I still now remember him. It was no 40, 50 years ago. So it's like wherever you are, love you, man. And hope we'll meet again.